Om Shanti. Avyakt Bapdada Murli, 9th October 2022. Original date 12th November 1992. Madhuban. Om Shanti. The basis of the future world sovereignty is the self-sovereignty of the confluence age. Today, Bapdada, the creator of the world, is saying all his children who have a right to self-sovereignty. You have a right to self-sovereignty at the present confluence age, and you become those who have a right to world sovereignty in the future, because it is only through self-sovereignty that you claim the right to world sovereignty. The experience of self-sovereignty at this time is even more elevated than the future world sovereignty. Throughout the whole drama, those who have had a right to a kingdom have been ruling. Firstly, the most elevated kingdom is that of self-sovereignty. And on the basis of this, you souls who have a right to self-sovereignty become those who have a right to world sovereignty for many births, from the golden age through the silver age. So, first is self-sovereignty, and you then claim the right to world sovereignty for half the cycle. Then there are kingdoms from the copper age onwards, but those are not of the world sovereignty. They become the kings of the states. Only in the golden age is there one kingdom over the entire world. So, you heard of three types of kingdom. A kingdom means the attainment of all rights, the governing system of the golden and silver ages, the governing system of the copper age, and the system of self-sovereignty of the confluence age. You know all three very well. The system of the confluence age is that each and every Brahmin soul becomes one who has sovereignty over the self. All of you are Raj Yogis. Are all of you Raja Yogis, or are some of you Praja Yogis? Yogis who become subjects. You are Raja Yogis, Raj Yogis. Are you not? So, to be a Raj Yogi means to be a yogi who is going to become a king. Souls who have a right to self-sovereignty have a special system. A king orders his service companions or his subjects to carry out a task, and they do it according to that system. In the same way, when you souls who have a right to self-sovereignty give an order to any of your physical organs with your power of yoga, each organ functions under your control. Not just all the physical organs of the body, but even the mind, intellect, and sanskars function according to the directions of you souls who have a right to self-sovereignty. You are able to stabilize your mind, that is, your thought power, wherever you want, whenever you want. This means that you have sovereignty even over your mind, intellect, and sanskars. You are not subservient to your sanskars, but you have control over sanskars and you use them with your elevated principles. You form relationships and connections with others on the basis of your elevated sanskars. So, the system of self sovereignty is for the one's self, that is, one's soul, to have a right over one's mind, intellect, and sanskars, and all the physical organs. If any physical organ deceives you, sometimes your eyes deceive you, sometimes your words deceive you, sometimes your speech, that is, your lips deceive you. If your sanskars are not under your control, you are not said to be a self sovereign. That is called being an effort maker for self sovereignty, not one who has a right, but one who is an effort maker. In fact, a soul who has the right to sovereignty can never be deceived by his physical organs, his mind, intellect, or sanskars, even in his dreams, because he has that right. A soul who has that right can never be subservient. If a soul is subservient, he is still making effort to become one who has that right. So ask yourself whether you are an effort maker or one who has that right. What are you? Have you become one who has the right, or are you still becoming that? What experience do you have of the spiritual intoxication of self sovereignty? What do you become? Carefree emperors, emperors of the land that is free from sorrow. The greatest emperors are those who are free from any worry, and the greatest kingdom is the kingdom of the land that is free from sorrow. In fact, in front of those who have a right to the kingdom of the land that is free from sorrow, this world sovereignty is nothing. The right to kingdom of the land that is free from sorrow is very elevated and the one that gives happiness. It is completely free from any sorrow. So, do you experience being on the land that is free from sorrow? Or do you sometimes come down? Constantly maintain the right of the spiritual intoxication of being a carefree emperor of the land that is free from sorrow. Do not come down. Look, in today's kingdom, when someone is in the chair of the position, he has a right, and if he comes off the chair tomorrow, does he still have a right? He becomes ordinary. So, you should also stay in the intoxication of the self sovereignty. Remain seated on your immortal throne. All of you have this throne, do you not? So, why do you leave your throne? Be constantly seated on the throne. Always maintain this spiritual intoxication. It is this immortal throne, not that immortal throne of Amritsar, that is the immortal throne. All of you have this immortal throne. So, who made you the self sovereigns who are seated on your immortal thrones? The Father made each Brahmin child a king seated on a throne. Through, Throughout the whole world cycle, would there be such a father whose every child is a king? Even Lakshmi and Narayan cannot be like that. Only God, the Father, says that every child of his is a king. People in the world say that their child is a king. However, he might become anything. He might even become a servant or something else. But he would still be called a king's child, Raja Beta. However, at this moment, you are Raj Yogis in a practical way. That is, you have become kingly children. So, the father has this intoxication, and you children also have this intoxication. So, what is the system of self sovereignty? To rule the self, to have a right over every physical organ. Let it not be that you didn't want to see something but that you still saw it. Your eyes were open and so you saw it. Ears do not have any doors and so the conversation went into your ears. However, you have 2 ears. If you have heard something, there is also a way to let it out. Therefore, that special image has been created in Bharat in memory of Bapu Gandhi. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. They show 3 things, whereas you show 4 things. Do not even think evil, because you first think of something, then you speak of it, and you then see it. Therefore, you need have controlling power and ruling power. To be a king means to have a ruling power. If someone is a king and does not have the ruling power, who would accept him as their king? So, self sovereignty means ruling power and controlling power. Bapdada also told you earlier that some children are very clever at discriminating. When they make a mistake, when something is not according to the system, they understand that they should not do that. That is not true. That is not accurate. That it is inaccurate and wasteful. But even while understanding that, they still continue to do it. What would you call this? Which power is lacking? There is no controlling power. It is just as when people drive a car these days, they are aware that there is a possibility of an accident happening, and so they try to apply a brake. However, if the brake does not function, there would definitely be an accident. Would there not? They have a brake, but if it is not powerful, or if instead braking here, they brake elsewhere, what would happen? They would be out of control for that length of time, would they not? Even while wanting to do that, they would not be able to do it. They are not able to brake, or because the brake is not powerful, they are not able to apply it correctly. So check this. When you are going up a steep hill, what is written on the signs? There is a sign saying, check your brakes, because your brakes are your means of safety. Controlling power or applying a brake does not mean that you apply it here and it works after some distance. Some try to control something wasteful. They think that something is wrong, that wrong should be changed into right instantly. This is called controlling power. It shouldn't be that you waste half an hour thinking and that there is then control. If you made a lot of effort for half an hour and transformation took place afterwards, that is not controlling power or ruling power. It means to be a little subservient with few rights. It is mixed. Would you call that being a world sovereign or being an effort maker? So, no longer be an effort maker. Be a master of the self. This is the elevated pleasure of being a self sovereign. To be a self sovereign means to stay constantly in pleasure. Those who stay in pleasure are never confused about anything. If you are confused, you are not enjoying yourself. At the confluence age, there is nothing but pleasure. Or is there pleasure only sometimes? Do you Shaktis and Pandavas experience pleasure? So, do you understand what the system of self sovereignty are and what the system of world sovereignty are? Whether subjects or the royal family, subjects are not subjects. Subjects are also of the one family. So, the governing system of the golden and silver ages is a system of a family. Even though the king is called the king, he takes the form of a supremely loving father. The governing system of the kingdom works as a family. Even though all the different activities of the kingdom are in the hands of different people, everything is carried out with the love of a family. It isn't that a king has a lot of wealth and prosperity and the subjects do not even have enough food or drink. No, no. The governing system of the copper and iron age is that everything is according to law and order. But at the time of world sovereignty, at the time of deity sovereignty, these are the systems that continue. There isn't law because the whole system functions on love and relationships. None of the souls know the word sorrow. Whether someone is a king or a subject, no one mentions or has a trace of sorrow or peacelessness. They are totally ignorant of what sorrow is. They do not have any knowledge of it. Similarly, at the present time, at the time of self sovereignty, what system does Bapdada use with you? Love and Srimad. If you continue to follow Srimad, there is no need to give any strict orders. When you forget the principles, you make yourself move along with the iron aged principles. So, the principles of the world's sovereignty are very lovely because there is no variety. There is one kingdom and unlimited treasures. Even the subjects will be so prosperous that they will have even more than the multi-millennials of today. There will be no mention or trace of any lack of attainment. However, what is the basis of this? Self-sovereignty. You become full at this time, and this is how the fullness of prosperity that you receive from the God is attained for the many births of the golden and silver ages. This is why you were told that the number one kingdom is that of self sovereignty. Then, next is a world sovereignty. And the third is the kingdom of the different states of the copper and the iron ages. You know these kingdoms very well. There is no need to speak about them. So, which intoxication do you constantly have to maintain? Self sovereignty is our birthright. Which birth? The Brahmin birth. Father Brahma gave every Brahmin soul a tilak of self sovereignty. The moment they took birth, you have applied the tilak, have you not? The tilak is that of awareness. You have the tilak, the throne and the crown. You are wearing your crown, are you not? Which crown is it? That of world benefit. You are world benefactors, are you not? You have a double crown, the crown of purity and the crown of world benefit. The crown of purity is a crown of light, and the crown of world benefit is a crown of service. You are world servers, are you not? Do not think that you are the servers of the states. I am from Gujarat, I am from Rajasthan, I am a server of Delhi. No, you are world servers. Wherever you live, your attitude and vision should be unlimited. If you do not become world servers, you will neither have self sovereignty nor world sovereignty. You will then have to become the kings of the states in the copper and iron ages. In order to be one who has a right to world sovereignty, you must remain constantly stable with your crown, tilak, and throne. You do not have to sit on a throne physically, but remain stable in the stage with your consciousness. To remain stabilized in this stage means to be seated on the throne and constantly able to remain seated there. For how many years would you sit physically? You would become tired, would you not? However, to stabilize yourself in this stage with your intellect means to be seated on the throne. This is easy, is it not? Remain constantly stable in the intoxication of self sovereignty. Do you understand what you have to do? Do not be an effort maker, but one who has a right to the kingdom. All of you celebrated a meeting, did you not? All of you came running in order to celebrate a godly meeting. So, all of you have come to the gathering to celebrate a meeting, have you not? Do you like it or do you find it crowded? Are you comfortable? Are all of you staying comfortable and are you eating and moving around comfortably? Even so, you're still very lucky. At least you're not staying in the dust like at other melas. At least you have a bed and bedding. There at other melas when you bathe there is dust. Where you stay there is dust, and when you eat the dust comes with it. Here you children come to your home. You come with the intoxication. So the father is happy and children are also happy. Those who are sitting at the back of the hall are ahead of everyone because Bapdada's vision first falls on the back. Acha. To all the self-sovereign, carefree emperor children, To all the world's sovereign souls who remain completely full for many births, to the children who constantly have a right to a tilak, a crown, and to being seated on a throne, to the special children who constantly have a zeal and enthusiasm for unlimited service, to the children of this land and foreign lands who experience themselves to be in front of Baba Bapdada's multi-million fold love and remembrance. Along with this, Baba is also giving the response to the love letters from everyone. Those of you from the foreign lands and this land are successful in your efforts on yourselves according to your own methods and are constantly engaged with enthusiasm in moving forward doing service. This is why, no matter in which corner someone lives, the remembrance, service news, love letters, and news of zeal and enthusiasm of the stage of each one of you is received by Baba. Bapdada is giving lots and lots and lots of love and remembrance to each one of you children personally by name and by your speciality. And all of you are constantly being sustained with this love and remembrance. You are flying with it, and you have to reach your destination while flying with it. Or should it be said that you have already reached your destination? So, love, remembrance, and namaste. Acha. Note, Baba used the words Rajniti and Niti. These words have been translated as the governing system, ethics, and principles to fit in with the context in different places. Blessing. May you merge all types of upheaval by staying aware of being a master almighty authority and become unshakable and immovable. Just as your physical occupation stays immersed in your awareness, in the same way, let the occupation of your Brahmin life be immersed in you. When you have the intoxication of this in your every action, all types of upheaval will then become merged, and you will be constantly unshakable and immovable. Let the awareness of being a master almighty authority be constantly immersed you. When you have the intoxication of this in your every action, all types of upheaval will then become merged, and you will be constantly unshakable and immovable. Let the awareness of being a master almighty authority be constantly immersed you, and no weaknesses will then be the cause of any type of upheaval in you, because such a soul is able to use every type of power at all times. He has controlling power, and this is why both his thoughts and his actions are equal. Slogan: instead of being afraid of delicate situations, learn a lesson from them and make yourself very strong and mature. Om Shanti.